So, hey everybody, and welcome to the Raw Fury stream. My name is Angelica, and with me I have Gordon Van Dyke, who's the design director for Kingdom. Welcome, you guys. Oh, damn it! I think I muted you, Gordon. Sorry.
Okay, no
Now
worries.
you're with me. Oh my god, this started so well. I'm like, but should I start with saying that I'm having a bit of a cold, I'm streaming from home, so I don't have the usual setup, but I think everything's gonna work, and the first thing I do is accidentally mute you, man. I'm sorry.
There's no worries.
So
I hadn't said anything really.
what we just saw was a beautiful love letter. I don't know what else to call it to
Yeah,
the franchise of Kingdom, which has just turned 5 years old.
yeah. So that trailer was like it was just a crazy idea that we had for the kind of 5 year anniversary. I wanted to make something that showed all the games and went over the kind of core, what we kind of call the DNA of Kingdom, which turned into a tagline as well that we often use. So, build, defend, explore, and then with two crowns we added conquer. So really wanted to showcase that in all the different settings that we've added now, and also I'll go all the way back to the original, which was the Flash game that kind of spawned this whole entire franchise. So
And you can
that
tell
was what it
which
was. Yeah,
parts were from the Flash game because I'm always reminded of how silly the greed looked in the first
the
iteration.
noodlers.
Yeah, they had these little arms that went and they look kind of,
Yeah.
they were even called trolls back then. They were not the
Mm.
greed. But they always look a bit
He
funny
even
to
said
me.
noodle arms in the text.
In the code. No.
In the text. No, when it's
Oh.
in the tutorial, I think one of the hints says, don't let the noodlers or something or the noodle arms get you. So yeah,
Yeah. Do you have
and how mean they were. They like would clump up and go over the walls. Oh, they
Yes,
were
that was the
jerk.
worst because they
It was
they were
hard.
much more persistent on getting into
Mm,
the kingdom. Like the greed
yeah,
nowadays, they kind of polite and just wait outside for the walls to break down. Back in the
yeah.
old days, the greed, the trolls, they were much worse.
But we brought that back on Plague Island. So this greed infected citizens can
Right.
climb the walls.
That is mean. So do you have a favorite moment from that trailer that
Ah,
we
my
just watched?
hair. This is, by the way, this is my lockdown hair. I was gonna like, oh, I should fix my hair, and I was like, you
Yeah.
know what? This is what I look like during the day. Everybody should see me
Yeah.
and my whole mess. So I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna do anything. This is my bedhead. I
Yeah.
take showers at night, which is maybe a bad idea because then my hair is a little bit damp, and then
But do you
it's
have
just
like any
like,
product in it, or is it just the way
no,
your hair is?
this is just the way my hair is.
Wow. I keep
Bad
looking to the
genetics,
side
except for
because I have a
the
screen on the side. That's why I feel like when I'm seeing myself, I'm looking off screen, but I'm looking at you because I have two screens, so I did yeah. But yeah, okay. So it's a lot of hair action going on there, Gordon.
yeah. I guess at 46 years old, I should be happy that I have hair to complain about.
Linkami
It is
says
what it
no one has
is.
fixed their hair for 9 months or so, so no worries.
Exactly.
Because mine is getting, it's just getting long. It's just get
Mm,
longer and longer, and it just never stops. So I'm
yeah.
seriously considering going to a hairdresser, but we'll see. We're still
Ah, yeah.
under pretty
Mine's
restrictive
just a mess.
restrictions, so to speak. But yeah.
Mine's showing the gray. I usually get it trimmed here, so it's like, yeah,
But
look at
that's not
that.
of age. That's because you're a game developer,
That's
right? That's
exactly.
comes with the
That's
job.
crunch. That's crunch gray.
So I don't know if you guys need a little bit more introduction of who we are. I mean, I've already presented Gordon. He's the design director for Kingdom. He was one of the co-founders of Raw Fury, and I work at Raw Fury as an experienced producer with the Kingdom series, among other games, but mostly Kingdom right now, and it's a big joy. That's just, I just love
Said
Kingdom.
with so much sincerity.
No, but you know how much I love Kingdom, so
No, I
that's
know, I
why
know.
we're the ones hosting this stream. But we're not
Yes.
gonna be just chatting. We're gonna be playing, of course. We did host a poll on our social media channels and asked you guys what you wanted to see us play, because there are 3 different settings in Kingdom Two Crowns, and the setting that won the vote is our latest setting, which is Deadlands. Yeah,
Deadlands.
can you just like give us the story? How did Deadlands come to be?
Uh, the Halloween setting was super popular in Newlands, and we knew we wanted to do. Let me start controlling my character. We knew we wanted to do multiple settings in Kingdom Two Crowns. So very early on, there was the idea. It's like we totally have to um, do kind of like a spooky setting, so that the yeah. So because it was just so popular, so that's like let's do a haunted kind of setting.
Yeah, because
So
that
we
one
started.
was only available for, I think it's 2 days. So
Yeah,
you have to start a new campaign on Halloween, and you get all these cool, crazy Halloween stuff in your campaign in Kingdom
exactly.
Newlands. Among other things, this super spooky horse that I love it because it got
It's
little.
cursed.
Yes, it's cursed because you can't change a horse, but it's
No,
got these skulls coming out of the hoofs when it's riding, when it's galloping. It's so cool.
yeah,
But yeah, that was only for 2 days, and we know how much players love that. So yeah,
yeah.
we
So it started off as that. Then we had run into the devs from Bloodstained, and then we just while we were in the works of putting together Deadlands, which also was originally going to be potentially called Dead King. So we were trying to. Whoa, what
I'm
happened?
just gonna give
Oh,
the people some sound
okay.
effects.
Yeah, because the music and sound effects is awesome in this. We did
Yeah.
like a really big full pass in this setting.
So let me know if you guys, if the volume is fine from the game, or I can adjust it. Sorry, Gordon. Please do.
No,
Can
no
you? So
worries.
you met the team behind Bloodstained, and that's like
Yeah,
the legendary Iga, right?
yeah, exactly. Who I'm a huge fan of. I'm a huge fan of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It's one of the games I've played. I think it is the game I've played the most uh, of any game. So I think I beat Castlevania Symphony of the Night like 60 times. I keep playing it. I have it on my mobile now because they released it on mobile, so I'm playing it there and I'm going to beat it on that. So I basically beat it on every platform, and I've also beat it a whole bunch of times. I just love that game. So we were already had started this. So we had this kind of Gothic Dutch inspired, so Netherlands inspired architectural style that kind of has that kind of the Brothers Grimm kind of look to it. That a lot of old classic kind of haunted settings kind of use that. So then we got contacted by them and we're like, okay, this is perfect because we're already working on something where these characters fit. And initially, their suggestions were very, very small. Like they were just like, oh, it'd be cool if you could put a crown that looked like Miriam's headpiece, and small things like that. And so it wasn't a big ask on their part. But I was like, okay, if I have the chance to work with characters created by Iga, who's a design hero of mine, it's like I want to go all in. I don't want to just go in and just do it part way. I want to really, really build something out of this. So then we started looking at just all the characters, looking for inspiration. They had that pixel art game that had come out. And so I was like, okay, we have some characters there. Let's see if we can bring them into Kingdom. And then it was a good excuse to justify adding abilities because now we have these new characters. They have nothing to do with Kingdom. Um, and they're here in this new setting, so we can kind of bend the lore that we had kind of created for the game currently, that the rulers didn't have an ability,
Yeah, because I
and so we can
remember us
experiment with
talking
it.
about that because it's um, like we were so used to the ruler of kingdom always being someone who like uses coins to motivate people, but they don't participate in the battle themselves. They don't have
Exactly.
that kind of power. They have power of the money, which controls people. But we had discussions, I remember, because it felt kind of weird to give players abilities to be able to kind of fight back, because that was completely new. So we weren't sure if that was a way that Kingdom would go.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, but then I think we worked with it because there's a variety of different abilities, and not, they're not all these attacks, right? It is more about strategy, is how we wanted them to kind of play out. So, Miriam's, of course, she's able to create, a form of an attack that freezes the enemies. So it's like, but it's not like she's destroying them and she's
No,
obliterating them.
she can block
So
them for a little bit. Do you
exactly,
remember that you said that I could pick Miriam's ability?
yeah. I, I
Because I remember, like, I
was
was
that a bad thing?
No, I just so distinctly remember I was standing in the shower. Where I mean, a lot of good ideas come to you in the shower.
Let's clear this up. We were not talking in the.
No, 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 no. That would have been super weird. This was between my time in the office, and I was like, I mean, I always think about stuff when I'm in the shower. That's like, it's gotta be like proven science that people have their best ideas in the shower, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember having like she should have an ice whip because we discussed a lot of different abilities for her.
Yes.
But that was like I really wanted her to have that, and so I'm so happy it actually worked out, and it looks cool and it's fun and it works. So if I can just like I'm not in any way a game designer. I dabble. I try to help out, but I was so happy that I could, bring something to the game that actually made sense and worked. And and I can point at something and say, "Hey, I made that." I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
code it, because that's the
Well, I don't code
yeah.
either, so.
Okay. So I'm more talking than playing right now. I'm like, what am I doing again?
Yeah, but one thing, I don't know if people have noticed this, but I'll point out some very subtle design choices that went into this game, into the setting. So one of the things that I did was you always have a torch out, so it never ever gets full bright like you do in the other settings in Bamboo and Medieval, as we call it now, the original setting. But we call it Medieval. You can't. There's nothing. So, I mean, it's like it never gets bright enough. So you always have a torch out. And we incorporated that into the design of things. So if I throw my whip, the torch goes out, or the light source. So the other characters have different light sources, based kind of around their ability to some degree. So so what I wanted to happen was I wanted the forest. I really played around. I had actually wanted the forest to be even darker, but it was really tricky to pull that off, without it feeling like, yeah, frustrating.
Yeah, and I mean, we tested the game on so many screens and had to find like a middle ground
Yeah,
where it was, bright, dark enough to work on brighter screens and bright enough to work on the darkest screens. So,
yeah.
yeah.
But if anybody ever noticed, or maybe it's a fun thing to notice now, you never ever put your torch away. So what would happen in the other game during daytime, when you exited the forest, your torch would go back. You would no longer have a torch out, and if you and at nighttime you would pull your torch out as well. But in Deadlands, it's always just dark enough so that you always have your torch out. And that's actually controlled in a setting called Blender setting. So that's where I'm changing the way the skies look and stuff like that. And that's another thing I did. It has its completely own color palette. Medieval and Shogun are much closer, but they are a little bit different. I actually want to even go back and do another pass on on the Shogun setting because I feel like I'm so much better at the blender states, but I wanted it to kind of feel more watercolory pastel, more pastel inspired. Just I don't know. I just get that Japanese, a lot of Japanese art and old art. They use a lot of kind of more watercolory styles. So I wanted to see if I could capture that as well with
Do you
those
feel
blender
like you're
states.
a perfectionist in that sense? Like you go back and fix things and kind of tweak
Oh yeah.
things and never let things like yeah, I'm done
I,
with this. This is good now.
yeah, it's like, yeah, I probably would have been worse than George Lucas on the Star Wars movies.
Oh no, there's gonna be like a
I would have
director's
constantly
cut
going
of
back.
Kingdom,
I
and all
I
you've
would have been
changed
going
are the
back
blender
so much.
states.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I just like, I spent so much time. I think I spent a month on the blender states, just for the blender states for this, for Deadlands. And as people can see, they're much more exaggerated. They're more hyper realistic, because I felt like that really kind of connected better with Bloodstained, and it felt like it made sense from a design perspective. It's like why these things looked the way they did. Why are they so, bright? Why are they so exaggerated? And I think that going with doing that combination and that connection with, oh, you're building the boat so early.
Yeah, I want us to go
Yeah.
get another ruler to
Hmm.
show the chat.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah. So yeah. So it's like I just wanted to take that opportunity to have such a kind of cool, hyper realistic setting that I can play with.
Yeah. So we have questions from the chat actually. Falzek is asking any news since Deadlands, and I mean I'm gonna we're not gonna spoil any carefully laid out marketing plans by our friends in the marketing department because they're gonna be mad with us. I know you love to talk about your ideas, Gordon. But I mean, what can we say about what's coming up for Kingdom? Because what we can say is that we're dedicated and we're working on Kingdom and we're super
Yeah.
excited to bring more stuff to the world of Kingdom.
Yeah, there's stuff. I mean, I feel like it's safe to say that there is something in the works, and it is going to be something significant. And we've wanted to work on this we've always planned to work on this for quite a while. And when I originally was putting together the core design for Kingdom Two Crowns, which is going to be 2 years, in a couple days on the 11th.
Come to the boat.
But
We
yeah,
can go to the second island now.
okay. I don't have a lot of coins. Let me get this coins
Yeah,
from
okay,
our
we
merchant.
need coins to pay for the boat. But yes. Kingdom 2 Crowns, 2 years.
Yeah, it's 2 years now. But when I was putting together the core foundation for the core design, it was these new settings so that we could continue to build on it, and then challenge islands so that we had a campaign mode that didn't have a roguelike style to it, and then the challenge island so that we kept that classic roguelike from the originals, but doing those in a thematic way as well, so we could do more weird things. So there's definitely, like, the way we've structured this, unlike the previous games, it is structured so that we can add new content. And I would say, we've also, what we can say is we overcame a technical hurdle where we needed to upgrade to Unity 2019. And we have some special things running in the background that we're having conflicts with the newer Unity, which we have to be on to push updates to the consoles. And also to be able to add online to Switch, which is coming. It is coming, but unfortunately, it has taken us longer unexpectedly than we had originally thought. Don't throw away your coin.
But I want us to have archers with us. See? They're coming. It's all... I'm bribing them. It's a proved tactic, isn't it? But yeah, so for anyone who's looking forward to... I think you have to pay for the boat, Gordon, because I'm broke. So anyone who's looking forward to seeing more stuff in Kingdom 2 Crowns, there's definitely more to come from us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I wish I could just make every idea that I had as well. But yeah, there's limitations, and it does take time. I mean, it is while it's a simple game in presentation, it's a super hard game in the background. So uh, I started Stumpy Squid because I wanted to focus purely on working on Kingdom. So I have a guy that joined me as a friend of mine that I've worked with for a while, back when I was at Paradox, and he's an incredible programmer. Uh, and even he was like, okay, I really underestimated just how complex this game actually is. It's not as easy as people would assume, and I can get it. It is. We did a great job of creating a simple presentation, but the complexities of all the things happening in the background and the choices and going to different areas and having co-op, it's surprisingly way more complex than people would expect.
There's actually a question on, because one of the complex things about the game is the AI, how the everybody in the kingdom is acting. It's Mary is asking, what is the AI process in choosing which side they go? Do you know that,
It's
Gordon?
random.
It's
It's
random.
complete. It's a 50-50 roll. Literally. It's just you just put in a random roll variable. That's it. It's nothing. It's a,
Okay, so
I
maybe
was just
that part wasn't the most complicated part
yeah,
of the game.
they sit and they do Rochambeau and they're like Rochambeau. Oh,
Oh,
rock.
dang
I wish it.
it.
I wish it was like something more elaborate like that.
Okay. So Vesic or Vesic is asking, was King Kongdom totally scrapped?
No,
there's
but
even hashtag King
sadly,
Kongdom.
sadly, what happens is there are so many things
We're gonna
that
need a backstory on this,
we needed
Gordon.
to be fixed. Yeah. Okay. Okay. King Kongdom was. It's just a community created kind of a funny ruler that was done as a more and just that we thought was kind of funny, and we wanted to try and add it into the game as a random ruler. But so many things have kind of taken over and taken priority that we've just kind of pushed that and to the side and waiting for the right time to add that.
So it's actually a ruler that looks like a gorilla.
Yeah, but we have all the sprites done, so it's not like it. It's not like it can never happen. It's just yeah, where what takes precedence and priority when we're doing it because we are still a tiny small team.
Yep,
There isn't a ton of us.
that's
I got
definitely
all the
true.
gems and you got all the money.
Yeah, I got
Is
some
that a
cash.
Pet Shop Boys song? I got the gems, you got the money. Let's build a sexy kingdom.
So
That was horrible.
I did buy some more citizens, and I found the stone mine, so I bought that, and but no sight of a new ruler. So I think the new ruler is on the right side.
Oh, here's something fun. I did alternate Miriam. I did her look, her
Right.
colors,
Yes,
and I
because we
had to get
realized
those approved. I
we
had to
needed a
get those
second player
approved by
skin.
Iga. Yeah, I had to get those approved by Iga.
Did you like
So
red-haired Miriam?
I think so.
Yeah. They haven't sued us, so I guess that's
We got permission. I got permission to do that. So uh,
So another question from the chat, Sean Cushing is asking, what's the current roadmap for the upcoming year? What can we see in the next couple of months? So the thing is, we're not really, or at least I feel like I'm not a big fan of putting out a roadmap unless you can stick to it. Because I really don't want to promise things we can't deliver on. And as Gordon has explained, Kingdom is a pretty complicated game to work on code-wise and development-wise, so we want to make sure that everything we do in the game is fun, is work, doesn't break the game, isn't buggy. So I feel like we kind of want things to take the time they need and not stress things, which I feel is a risk when you put up a big roadmap with all your plans and you promise things. And yeah. So
but we can say that we're releasing like some more fixes and stuff.
Yeah, we have a patch that we're
Yeah.
working on now with some fixes and a little, can we call it a little anniversary present, maybe?
Yeah. There's an anniversary present. How many people here who are watching us have gotten any of the cursed crowns?
Yeah, that's a good question. That was one of the latest additions, the Cursed Crown. A little something that we just snuck in the
Ah!
update. Are you losing our coins, Gordon? It's not okay.
Yeah.
Because some people did ask for the challenge islands to be even harder. So we did give those people a real challenge. And yeah, there is something that happens if you manage to complete all the 3 challenge islands on the hardest, like the hardest achievement. Yeah, there's a little
Yeah.
something.
If you get all 3, you get a little cosmetic prize.
Yep. Hey, Star Force. So yeah, we got some more questions from the chat. Oh, my chat window is not tall enough to read all of them. A second, I paused. Sorry. Here we go. Okay. They're talking about money taking up space in the pouch.
Yeah. It's uses physics,
Yeah.
in-game physics to make that happen. I love it. It's because I don't know, it feels like it's staying true to kind of Kingdom,
Yeah.
having that. It's like, it's Thomas wanted that to be part of the gameplay, so he spent quite a bit of time on that, trying to get that to feel right. So I love that he did that. How are you not dead yet, you little turd deer? Come to your death.
So
Fall in love with
Eripto
me.
in the chat says that they're gonna go for all 3 challenge islands. Well, good luck with that, buddy. It's gonna be a challenge.
Exactly, and we don't tell you what the conditions are, and I'm sure there's someone out there that used that um, tool to cheat and to extract all the code and stuff from the exe. This Unity has that, so people can bypass and cheat. But if you want to do it the way we intended, don't cheat. Try and figure it out. And there's a couple extra conditions, so it's not just one condition like the others. It's a little trickier. Tried to make it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I can just quickly show where you find the challenge islands. You can't go into them right now because we're in co-op, but they're in the menu. So there's challenge islands right there, and there are currently 3 different challenges to choose from.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite
And
of those
there's
3?
plans for new ones as well. Just so people know that we have plans. If we can get it done, that's another thing. But there is design stuff already done, and it's just about us getting the time and being able to execute on it.
Yep.
So.
But do you have a favorite of those 3, or is it like I love all my children the same, or do you have a favorite challenge island? Because there's
I really
Skull
like
Island,
Plague
Skull
Island.
Island, Plague Island, and Dire Island.
Skull Island was I rehashed that because I had added that to Newlands. So I kind of wanted to do that again and just add a little bit more polish to it that we could do in 2 crowns. So the volcano and the skull encrusted cliff edges, and it just felt really fun to be able to kind of take that a little bit further. But I really like Plague Island because it's just so weird. It's like it has something that you never experience in the campaigns, and the only thing that you had, and Dire Island I thought was kind of fun because it was like we made the dog also cause you to lose, so it was like an additional challenge to not lose your crown or your pup.
Yeah, because you're riding on a big ass wolf, and you have to
Dire
protect the
wolf,
little
yeah.
puppy wolf, which is so cute.
Yeah, and I thought the name. I felt like I was quite clever with my use of pun in that as well, because Dire Island and Dire Wolf, and because it was a dire place to be.
I
So I was amused by myself.
I'm just like, I was today years old when I learned. I never thought about the duality in that. I was like dire island, dire wolf, but yeah, a dire situation that also it
Yeah,
does make sense. But hey, not
yeah,
native English speaker, so I can always
yeah,
blame that.
exactly. So I don't know. I liked the name of that one because there was a little bit of cleverness behind it. But I really like Plague Island because it's just so different, and letting the infected citizens climb the wall, just it felt so fun, and it was so crazy. And now in 2020, it's even more fitting, sadly.
We
So
should
yeah.
patch in some face masks for the citizens.
There'll be a statue that gives
Uh,
all your citizens a face mask.
So Starforce just gave us a little bit of a review here in the chat. Skull Island feels a bit easy. Plague is hell, and Dire is just right. Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
mean Plague Island. It's like it snowballs so easy. If you start losing your citizens and they become greed, you're just
Mm.
like, it turns the tables so fast.
Which is exactly what I wanted. I mean, the fact that it does that was so fun. I love it.
Yeah, it's a fun concept. I can imagine to work on. Because you can take like the base part of Kingdom and then just play around with it in a like contained environment. Like what can we do to mix things up to make them fun? In a short contained space.
Yeah.
So the challenge
Here's
is a really good
another
way to shake things up.
yeah, here's another subtle thing that we changed in Deadlands, but there's two subtle things, or one's not so subtle and the other one's quite subtle. Now the greed, their goo in their face glows a little bit because we wanted to make these levels so dark that I wanted the goo
Got
to
the
be able
dog.
to yeah, I got the dog. I
Yeah.
wanted the greed. I wanted you to see them when they got into the screen if it was too
Right.
dark to see them. So they actually now and that's new. They never had that before, but it's very subtle. I think
Yeah.
those are super important. It's like it's okay that people don't notice it, but it's like it's there for the entire. You know, that's just one part of the ingredient to make the cake taste delicious. So
Yeah, I mean there is so many small details that I think they add to the game, but you don't see them stand out on their own.
yeah,
So I kind of understand your position of being a perfectionist and wanting to go back and fix things and change things and polish things and just, switch them up a little bit. And never
yeah. I
really
mean,
feeling
yeah.
done with a game.
The beauty is a lot of there's always new players in Kingdom, and so when I make those changes, maybe the person before already enjoyed it and they didn't care. But then this new person comes and they've never seen it before and they get to see it like that for the first time. And I feel like that makes it worth it sometimes. It's like, and the new players, maybe they never noticed, but they enjoy it at the same time. And then it feels a little bit better for some reason. It feels a little fresher. Something about it, they notice something's gone on, happened, but maybe they can't put their finger on it.
Yeah.
So. Oh
So
yeah. I
uh,
have hardly any coins. You have so many
I have
coins.
so many coins, but I don't know what to do with them.
Yep.
Okay,
Upgrade our camp.
I'll do that. So I wanted to ask about like what stuff inspires you, because I know as a like a creative game developer, you probably find a lot of inspiration not only in other games but in other media as well. Could you talk a little bit about like what inspires you?
Wow. I mean, it's quite broad. I would say, I know it sounds super cheesy, but my kids, they look at things in such a different way, I play Kingdom with my son who just turned 6 not so long ago, but I was playing with him when he was 5, and I play a little bit with my daughter, and I just watch them play, so I get inspiration not just from them, but from a lot of kids. I think kids they have such their approach to things is so unfiltered and so just out of curiosity that I think you can gain a lot from that. But I love watching movies and TV series. So I've been watching The Mandalorian. I love The Mandalorian. I think it's so good. Uh, and yeah, I watch a lot of movies and TV and just the world around us. So I've taken so many pictures of sunsets and sunrises, and like the time and midday when I notice that the sky is different. So I like to use the world around me. So I watch a lot of science nature shows because I feel like the more things that you can include in your design that are based on the world around us, it makes it easier, one, for the design, and it makes it to where you don't have to explain so much to the players. So for example, the greed, to me, I treated them like bees or ants. And so when you attack a portal, it's like attacking part of their hive, and then they send out their 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 warriors to come and try and protect that that exit or entrance. And so I always treat it like that. So when you destroy one, to me it was like destroying part of a hive, and you get all the wasp or the bees or the the ants are coming out to attack and
So
try
if
and
the greed is
def-
like a hive mind, does that mean there's a queen bee hiding somewhere?
I never thought that far. So yeah, but yeah, I mean that makes sense though, right? So I mean, to me though, it was just like, how can players understand what they're doing? What are they triggering? What are
Mm.
they making happen?
Yeah, what consequences do their actions have?
Exactly.
We there is a comment from the chat. Arvesic is saying, "I thought you said beans. Don't attack the nest of beans."
That's a totally different ability.
We'll see. Maybe for
Maybe that's
the next game.
The Beatles ability.
Yeah. So should we expand on the right side so that we can get another ruler for one of us? Because right now we're both Miriam. And I want to, like, before the stream is over today, I want to show up at least one more
I'm
ruler.
trying to get, yeah, I'm trying to get Jeeble. I paid to get him unlocked, but we'll see
Okay.
if the portal.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to
I'll
upgrade our
sacrifice the
kingdom.
dog.
No, you wouldn't.
I love this dog. He's so ugly. It's
Scruffy.
adorable.
Yeah. He's like a proper mutt. Okay. Okay, if we
There's
get
another
some...
thing. I don't know if people noticed, but in the split screen, that when you upgrade your castle keep to have the stone walls, then the divider changes.
Right, the thing in the middle of the screen.
Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna get it.
Woohoo! Look at that! Someone's being cool. Come on, show us Jeeble's ability, Gordon.
I'm wondering if we're gonna lose this archer. Okay. What? I dropped my coin. Turns into a bat. How cool is that?
That is insanely cool, actually.
We went back and forth on this a bit too. Some people, Angelica, thought it would be too boring. Uh, but I mean, the main reason for it was like we saw it as, okay, this is a character now. You can go explore, and you're uh,
Yeah, and I think like one of the coolest things is if you're in a state where you're maybe not having to battle hordes of greed during night. You lost the dog,
no.
man! What are you doing? I told you, don't lose the dog. What are you doing? You're the worst. I do not want to play co-op with you. You're gonna lose the dog, man.
Dog, dog.
But I think like Jeeble's one of the ways I like to use Jeeble is to have him recruit more citizens, because you can send him out super fast. and have him drop
Yeah.
coins at the camps to get more people. So
And
he's a
lose the
very good
dog.
recruiter. And lose the dog, man. Doggo.
I actually got a phone call, and I don't know why. It was no ID caller, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird." And then
Someone.
didn't pay attention.
Oh, man.
That's Kingdom.
Yeah, you can't not pay attention because then gonna get screwed. Or lose the doggo. So Star Force 36 is asking if if there's canines in Kingdom, where's the love for felines? So we have
Mm,
dogs, but the cats are not present.
no. What cat would follow you?
Exactly. Like if you get a cat, it would probably just, I don't know, push coins into the water and kind of
Yeah,
scratch you on your legs, kind of
exactly.
bite you in the bite your shins when you ride past.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
And
I'm
then
not.
punish me for
Yeah,
losing it to the greed.
now I'm gonna keep hoarding all the coins. I love that I have a coin in the bag that's like standing on the side.
Yeah. You know that there's a slight the coins, the collision mesh on those have a slight angle to them. I think Thomas said that they're a hexagon, or no, not a hexagon, but it was five-sided, which is a, oh my God, help me. My brain is,
It's a
you said it
pentagon.
last time. Pentagon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna convert some of our troops into knights now.
I couldn't remember that it was a pentagon, but I can remember that you told us because Thomas and I both brain farted, and then you told us. I remember that, but not
Knower
pentagon.
of geometrical shapes. That's my main purpose on the team. That's so sad. Okay. I'm kind of pissed
Something
about
else
the
that
dog
we
still. I don't, man.
it's just an animal.
Wow. Tell that to PETA. So I'm just gonna quickly have a look at the map.
I wonder if we should have one of your citizens throw red paint on the ruler if you lose the dog.
Yeah. Horrible person. So we have a hermit that we haven't picked up, and we haven't activated the farm shrine. Do we want to do that before we move on? I don't even know, because I have 0 gems. But you have a bunch.
I took all the gems and you took all the coins.
Yeah,
I
but
can get the peasant. I can get the hermit. And the hermit's the stable hermit. So this is a new hermit that I put in. This one was because I always found it annoying that you had unlocked or you had these other steeds, but you couldn't access them except for where you had swapped to them. So then I wanted to add a new hermit that would allow us to have to get more hermits, so or to get your steeds. So then we decided to have it convert, instead of a tower, then it would convert uh, the farm, and so then you convert the farm to a stable. So I really like it. I don't know how other people feel. Did I pay this guy to cut something down? Am I making so many bad choices? Whoa!
yeah,
Why
I'm
is
glad it's not Challenge Islands where you need to really focus.
boy, yeah, yeah. Let's look at the moon, everybody. Don't look at my bad choices. Check out the cool moon that we added,
Oh
where it
yeah.
has, yeah, there's lunar phases in the moon. And this is something that I wanted to add, but then I realized, oh, it'd be really cool to add this when we add the new setting, because it's really fitting to the setting to have the moons. But we like to do things that make improvements across all the biomes too. So when we have those opportunities, we like to add those. So we added moon phases, and the moon phases are to signify the season. So it changes to a full moon midway through a season, and then goes back to dark in the beginning of a new season. So it's there for a purpose, not just for looks as well. Uh,
It's
so that
I feel like it's a hard balance. Like, how much do you tell the players, and how much do you let people pick up on their own? Because I mean, the tutorial could be hours if you wanted to tell people how everything
yeah.
works.
Exactly. I think it's really cool. I think the community is so smart and so savvy, and I think it's
Yeah.
fun to let those players that are really motivated to figure those things out to reward them. It's like they're the ones that get to share that and tell people, and the game doesn't just hold your hand and tell everybody how to do everything. To me, that's just so boring. It's like, it's like there's a reason why in the 80s and 90s there was a Nintendo hotline, because they didn't also tell you. Like, it's a classic thing. It's like games are supposed to make you think. They're not supposed to hold your hand and just guide you through everything. I mean, some games maybe that's good, but I think for Kingdom, it does well to have a game that is, requires the players to try and think. But it's my job and the rest of the team's job as well to really try and figure out, are we communicating things though from a visual perspective? Is it intuitive? Does it make sense? Because it's one thing, you could put a bunch of obscure things in there with very hard to understand or hard to read things going on, but that doesn't make it good, right? So you really have to, if you're going to do this minimal uh, guidance on the design, you also have to try and make sure that you're putting in markers, you're putting in some kinds of clues, or you're doing it in a way that, someone, if they put that time and effort to think about it, can solve that riddle.
Yeah. It has to make sense. I remember one of the things that I didn't. It probably took me, no, I didn't even figure it out myself actually, because you told me when I started working with Kingdom, and I'd played Kingdom for hundreds of hours before that, and I had never really figured out how the grass worked. Because because there are patches of grass that your steed will feed on, and that grass it expands, it grows. So here's a little bit of grass that I can feed on. Um, and that grass expands and grows, so if you cut down trees it will keep growing and become a bigger patch of grass, and it's only on patches of grass that the chickens in this setting will spawn. So the grass is very important because that's a resource that it gives you a resource for income. So if you build a wall you can actually block off the grass from expanding and growing. So if you're too quick when you cut down trees and don't let the grass grow enough, you might actually block it off from expanding further, and you're left with just dirt that doesn't spawn any rabbits or
Exactly.
chickens.
No rabbits.
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
eventually you'll probably cut down enough trees to find another patch of grass that will expand to that part of the kingdom, but I never really noticed how that worked. But of course it makes sense. If there's no grass to start with, it just can't grow out of nowhere. So that's one of those things that I played so much Kingdom and I never really figured out how that worked until you actually told me.
Did you block off all the greed from this side?
I don't think so. Maybe I did drop some coins for the beggars, so maybe they just took that. Oh, you know what I did? I sent a troop. That's what I did. Oh, and they failed.
Oh.
Dang it. Okay, I'm gonna buy more. More troops. Let's do it. Star Force is asking, speaking of the moon, why does the moon look like a sun during winter? It shines so bright.
That's reflecting off the snow.
Maybe. Yeah.
There's actually a bug with the moon where sometimes, for some reason, it gets confused and there's a glow effect on it that goes way too bright, and it actually it blocks out the details on the moon. So we actually fixed that. So that will be in an upcoming fix.
Nice.
Someone pays attention to all my mistakes.
Keeping tab. Okay, now I have 2 troops here. That should be enough to take down a portal, right? We need to mess with the greed some. We need some more waves coming in. We need some more nasty greed.
But here's the thing: it's like when I did the design for the campaigns, it is intentionally slower. It does draw out longer than previous Kingdom games. I wanted players to have a chance to start establishing their kingdom before there was a greater chance of them losing it. So, in the New Lands in the original one, their first blood moon came between day 5 and 6, or is it 6 and 7? And then it was randomized, so you also didn't always know. It could have happened after every blood moon. You have this 6 day to 5 day potential attack. So there is a randomness to it, which made it, yeah, it makes it trickier for the player. But it was also like, the difficulty ramped up much faster, and that was good for that setting. So I wanted to kind of tweak that a bit for 2 crowns, and kind of, yeah, I wanted to give it something that was a little more. It was a little bit slower and gave players more time to think about strategy. Are you guys coined up?
Yep, I think so. Nope. No, they are. Ish. Yep. We good. It was a long way to go to.
Where are the
portal.
workers? Why are they taking so long?
Because
I
it's really
want my money
far.
back.
But I feel like you don't want to progress too fast. You don't want to leave the island before you've, established a good base, because sooner or later you're gonna want to come back to try to defeat the cave. And if you haven't, prepared for that, if you just really quickly moved on to the next island, you're gonna have trouble when you come back, and time has progressed and the waves are stronger and harder. So I feel like I tend to do that because I want to get to the next island, I want to get more cool stuff. And then I just leave like a tiny kingdom with no people in it behind. So when I go back, I have to pay for those mistakes and have my ass handed to me. But I feel like we got a pretty good gang going here. It's blood moon time. Oof, it's dark now.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And then you can see how when my ability is turned off, then I lose that. We also made his color red. I'm not sure if I like it. I keep going back and forth because I feel like it makes him too red.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, his cape is red, so it's like, yeah, his hair is a little pink, maybe. I can light you up.
Finally! Lazy builders. I don't care if it's middle of the night. Get out and work.
Okay. Question from the chat. Do you have a biome that would be nice in Kingdom, but for various reasons you won't use it? Or like any ideas that are too crazy or weird for Kingdom?
At one point, I think we talked about if we could be in the Arctic.
Mm-hmm.
I think some are possible, but it's a little tricky. Like, it's like, oh, desert. But I mean, you start to lose things. I mean, part of the charm of Kingdom is the forest. So I think you'd have to have patches of desert
Yeah.
mixed with arid. So I think that kind of setting is difficult. Grasslands and stuff like that. It's like if you go to those kind of settings that have more of that, where in the heck is this guy going?
Oh, I built a. Is it a worker? Because I built a
Yeah.
portal where we.
Oh,
Oh
and
no!
he's gonna
Yeah,
get
he's gonna
sucked
get
away.
screwed. Sorry, sorry, little worker
Run,
guy.
run!
He is so
I
screwed.
wonder if some bat guana can help.
But I feel like I would have
Oh,
trouble. I think.
jeez,
Oh, what are you doing?
it wasn't me.
Oh, um, I
That
feel
was my
like I would
pac-man.
have trouble with doing a. I think
Oh,
a like a modern setting, like do a World War II kingdom, with people having machine guns and grenades. You know, that would feel weird to me because to me, Kingdom is kind of like a historic game, with touches of mythology. At least to me, that's what
yeah.
Kingdom is.
I would like to keep it in different cultural settings that had a similar thing going on. So what I mean by that is that technologically they're in a similar technological state as medieval
Yeah.
Europe. So like kind of the feudal Japan when we use that setting. I would say, yeah, there's some. I would love to do like an Egyptian setting or a Roman setting, like or Spartan, like where you have these kind of more warrior culture city states that you could kind of play around with that and see where you could take that. And of course, being based in Sweden, and I've been living in Sweden now for almost 15 years. Jag talar inte svenska, so
A for
or I'd
effort.
say jag talar liten svenska inte så bra. So that's my go-to phrase. And they were like, "Yeah, but you say that so well."
Yeah.
So basically, that means I speak a little bit of Swedish, but not so good.
Yeah.
We are just like the RNG for us is so bad on this level. Like, there's almost no walls.
It feels
I want to fix
very.
that as well. I want
Yeah.
to tweak that as well. That's something else that I would like to kind of work on. I feel like the RNG could be a lot better for the walls and the placements of the farms and stuff. Sometimes it's just like one after another, after another, after another, and it's kind of silly.
I'm pretty sure that there are much more farm spots than there used to be. I haven't like tested
No,
this
well, there's
theory.
like 1, 2, 3 on.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't remember how many there used
4.
to be, but there are a lot of places to build farms. I
Just
feel
on
like
this
somebody
level,
went
on
in
this
and
side,
tweaked that part of
5.
the code. Yeah. I feel like whenever somebody coughs, they have to say, "Oh, it's not COVID, don't worry." But I'm actually waiting for the test results from my COVID test, so I can't say that it's not COVID because I don't know.
So there's 8 farm locations on one side. That's silly.
That's
I
quite
need
a
to go
lot.
in and work with that because I don't like it.
But
It doesn't make me happy.
the islands are bigger now in Deadlands as well, so I don't know.
I don't think we put that change in. It didn't actually go in, so we have to fix that as well. The island should be a bit bigger. We added more stuff, and we yeah.
Hey, Mr.
We're
Perfectionist.
just a bunch of screw ups, and you guys should just be happy
Yeah,
that we could even make a game and that
exactly.
it actually
There's never going to
runs.
be another setting. There's not going to be anything more because Gordon's just going to be tweaking the old settings. Nah. I think it's like it's easy to pick up on those things when it's your creation. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I don't
Mia.
know. There's some fun things that we added to this as well. That's not in the other settings. So when it gets dark, these lights turn on in the little in your castle in your keep. And there's also on one of the monuments. I don't know if that got broken because I've had to fix things, refix things. It's hard being remote and doing remote team. I know it's good in some ways, but it's good that we're fortunate to have jobs where we can do that.
Yeah.
But it's like the check-in process and using Git is great, but it's like it does make it harder because in Git, two people can check out the same asset and be working on the same time and kind of overwrite each other's stuff. But is Perforce, you like when I was using Perforce when I was at Dice, it was like only one person at a time could check things out.
So what's our
So
plan?
sometimes you fix things and it doesn't.
Do we? Because we're kind of nearing the end of our stream actually, but we plan to keep going with this playthrough. We've made
Yeah.
some good progress, I think, despite you complaining about the RNG. That's like such a gamer thing to do. Like, oh man, I got a bad seed. No, it's the
Yeah,
RNG.
it
I didn't
is.
do anything wrong.
If the seed could be from spelling someone's name, it would be Gordon Van Dyke. That would be the seed that this.
Exactly. But we made some good progress. I mean, we recruited Jeeble. You got the stag, which it's one of my favorite steeds. Actually, it's just so majestic. Love
Yeah.
it.
The antlers slightly glow in this one.
I know it's pretty.
I really
Um,
love the this. It's a habitat, the steed habitat.
yep. It's a little waterfall. That's cool. But yeah, I'm trying to kind of wrap this up, Gordon, over here.
Okay.
No, it's
Sorry.
fine. We can play for a few more minutes. But I just wanted to like lay out a kind of a plan for because we're gonna keep streaming. We'll be back in January. I don't think we have any more streams planned this side of the year.
No.
No, they're gonna be.
It's Christmas, everybody.
Yay!
You get to trap yourselves in your home
Exactly.
and play Kingdom.
Oh,
If you want to see your friends and family,
We got a lovely.
that's what we should have done. You know what we should have done? In
What?
Christmas, we should have made it to where tons of people could connect into one kingdom and it was safe from the greed and there was tables and everybody could just hang out together.
Yeah. That would have been nice. Yeah, because now we're in Sweden. The restriction says you can't, or you're not supposed to meet more than 8 people. And we were planning on, kind of isolating a few weeks, some time before Christmas, so that we could spend some time with my boyfriend's side of the family, and we count up to 9 people. So somebody's gotta go. I don't know. Like, how do you decide?
Who's the least
Yeah, like
liked?
do you pick the oldest one? Like, yeah, you've already had so many Christmas, or do you like take the youngest
Good
one?
point.
Because that's my kid, and I'm not sure I want to leave a 4-year-old at home to go celebrate Christmas. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
She needs to be alone sometime. Some point.
Exactly. We got a lovely message in the chat that I'm going to read for you, Gordon. It's the Alder Toth that says, "Hello, you two. Just want to say thanks and that I love Kingdom series so much. Hope to see new challenges in the future." That's such a lovely message. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a challenge to make new challenges.
Starforce has a question as well. Will there be any lighting for the Iron Tire Archer Towers?
Any lighting? Is there lighting missing?
I don't know. I'll have to QA that after the stream.
Yeah. I think that's a request that when we look into it, then we can fix that.
I'm gonna pick my pen and make a note of it.
Oh,
Archer
wait,
Tower.
look at that blood. Look at that blood moon. Woo! Beautiful. I tweaked the settings for
red
this,
is
so
so
I
good.
can control the blood moons. So the blood moons are way more exaggerated in Deadlands as well. So that's another small thing. It's like the clouds turn red with blood.
I wonder if we're a little bit obnoxious to listen to because we're so excited about like these things that people might think are really minor. Like, we're super proud of the shade of red on the moon. I wonder if people think like, those assholes.
Because I was like, oh no, it can't be. Why are you going to the? What are you doing? You doofus.
I told you I tried to build a portal. They're
Oh,
gonna
look,
keep
the
going for
blood
that.
moon's on the other side. The blood moon's. Look at that blood moon, so beautiful, so bright, so red, so
Yeah.
deadly.
So yeah. Arvesic is asking, have you ever considered adding a boing boing sound to the stag? It does have some spring in its step. It's a very good stag
I'm
jump.
Tigger too. Tigger.
Boing.
Or do we want it to be like Winnie the Pooh and Tigger?
So yeah. Okay, but we're gonna keep this save and we're gonna keep playing in our next session, which will be in January. But I mean, if you want to see more of us, you can just follow Raw Fury here on Twitch, and you'll get a little notification if you want to when we go live next. But
My
there's a
hair
bunch
might
of
be worse.
there
as
is a
well.
bunch of other
Don't
streams
worry.
going on as well. I know there's going to be a Call of the Sea stream shortly with the developers. So yeah.
You should check that. That game is so freaking awesome.
It's
like,
extremely pretty and has
and
good
as someone who
puzzles.
grew up for part of my childhood in Hawaii, it's like I see how much attention and detail that they put in research into Polynesian culture and the history and the world, and it's phenomenal. So.
Yeah, it's
As someone who lived in Hawaii, I say you watch that stream, and if you like that game and you like those kind of games, you pick it up. I don't want people to buy games that they don't like just because
no.
Raw Fury is trying to publish it. You should buy games because you like it, not because someone told you you should buy it. You should buy it because you think you're going to have a good experience and it's going to bring some small bit of joy to your life. And if you like the kind of games that Call of the Sea is, you should get it.
Yep.
And you should always buy Kingdom because you're watching the stream, so clearly you like it. So it's a safe bet.
Yep. So I had so much fun. Thank you everybody for joining. We're gonna leave everybody with another round of the trailer in case somebody missed it.
You missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a love letter.
Yes, exactly.
It's
Now I just realized we switched
from me
sides.
to Thomas. It's my love letter from me to Thomas.
Yeah, that's lovely. So yeah, take care, and I will see you guys next time. Please enjoy the Love Letter trailer showcasing the 5 years of Kingdom. Bye everyone.
Bye.